Okay, confession time. If you told me a few years ago that I'd be on YouTube holding a Brooks shoe and saying, this is important, I would have looked at you like you just suggested we bring back Heelys for Paris Fashion Week. But this, this is different because Brooks, they're not doing the lazy nostalgia play where a brand digs up a model and just throws it in OG colors and then they kind of hope that the internet does all the work. They're doing the move that sneaker culture actually respects. Keep the silhouette authentic and upgrade the experience to modern standards. And the shoe they picked to make that statement is this one, the Adrenaline GTS 10, a model that originally launched in 2009 and now returns with that good DNA tuned cushioning. So let's break it down. There are a couple of things that you should know. One, why is Brooks having a moment? Two, why the Adrenaline GTS 10 is the right vault pool and the method behind turning this into a revival and not just a gimmick. I'm Jacques Slade. If you're new here, welcome. I talk about sneakers, performance, culture, but also some deeper industry insights behind the decisions that the brands we love make. And yes, I've got these in hand. So we're doing this the right way. In-hand details, thoughtful analysis, and a realistic market read. Because some of y'all, I know, are already typing, Brooks, isn't that the shoe my coworker wears to do a 12K step at Disneyland? And the answer is yes. And your coworker might also be early, so this might be the time to step your game up. So let's talk. Sneaker culture has been shifting. The last few years have been less about what's rare and more about what's wearable. Comfort became status. A good daily became the flex. We've watched running silhouettes go from that's a running shoe to, oh, yo, that's a fit. And the brands that are winning aren't just selling a shoe. They're selling a reason you can wear it everywhere, which is versatility. And let's be honest, some of the most fashionable sneakers right now look like they were designed by a mechanical engineer who had beef with minimalism. That's the era we're in. The Adrenaline GTS 10, it originally hit in 2009. And if you weren't outside in sneaker terms back then, here's the vibe. Running shoes weren't trying to be fashionable. They were function first. That meant mesh, that meant overlays, visible structure, and color accents that looked like they belonged on a sports car, which is exactly why this silhouette actually makes sense right now. Because what's new today is basically a reappreciation of functional technical design. For an upper, you want open mesh that reads breathable and technical. Overlays, there's layered paneling that gives it that late 2000s engineering vibe. You can see it here on the black pair really well. And then the overall shape is structured and unapologetically a runner. This shoe has the kind of paneling that makes you want to say aerodynamics, even though you're just walking to get matcha. Here's where Brooks, I think, gets really smart though. A lot of brands bring back an old runner and keep the underfoot feeling stuck in the past. And that's where retro runners can lose people because you love the look until your feet start filing a complaint with you. Brooks didn't do that. The Adrenaline GTS 10 returns with modern cushioning, DNA tuned, while keeping the silhouette rooted in its original design language. So it's basically 2009 energy on the top with like modern tech and cushioning at the bottom. That sounds weird, but trust me, it's a good thing. So what is DNA tuned? At a high level, it's a nitrogen infused foam that's designed to deliver plush landings and responsive transitions. The tech was introduced in 2024 in the Glycerin Max, and it's featured in several of their top tier performance silhouettes as well. Runner's World, they describe it as a dual cell concept. Different foam cell sizes working together for comfort and energy return. So to translate all of that, it's not retro comfort, it's modern foam, in a sense, in a time machine. So who is this for? Well, I think we all know that every sneaker isn't for everyone, and that's fine. This is for the person who wants a daily that looks like it has a story. Someone that values comfort as well as design and likes being early on silhouettes before they hit mass saturation. It's also for what I would say an open-minded sneakerhead who doesn't need every shoe to be attached to an athlete, a collab, or a resale graph to validate it, because the culture, honestly, sneaker culture, it's more nuanced now. People are building rotations that mix retro basketball, tech runners, trail silhouettes, and sleepers. And the most confident sneakerheads, at least in my opinion, don't just wear what's hyped. They wear what makes sense for their life. And you know who you are. You said the phrase, this is a good airport shoe and meant it as a compliment. It's a first world problem, I know, but you get it. So why does this feel like Brooks is just now getting into this? Well, first, I think you need to zoom out. This isn't a random remember us moment. This is a brand taking an authentic performance silhouette and giving it a second life by upgrading the thing that people care about most these days. The feel, AKA the comfort. From an industry standpoint, this is how you enter lifestyle without faking a new identity. Lean into comfort credibility, choose an archive silhouette that matches the current design appetite, modernize the underfoot experience so it competes today, and then let real world styling do the cultural work over time. This isn't something that's gonna happen overnight because runner lifestyle heat doesn't usually happen right away. It spreads when enough people see it on foot in real situations, travel days, commuting, errands, until it kind of becomes normalized in a sense. So let's bring it back to the in-hand experience because this is where people decide if a retro runner is a video shoe or a rotation shoe. And trust me, there is a difference between the two. So this upper, it feels honest. Mesh and the overlays that look like true performance design from that era exactly is why it feels current again. The silhouette has, I would say it has a presence without trying to be loud. It's technical, but not like super technical. And people who know, well, they know. And then this midsole, it's the entire argument. DNA tuned is what turns this from, oh, that's a cool archival or retro shoe into something that I think you would wear all day long. Because if you bring back a 2009 runner and it feels like 2009 cushioning, that's not a revival. That's like trauma for your feet. And no one in this world today, no one's checking for that. Okay, here's the takeaway for me. The Adrenaline GTS 10 comeback matters because it's a blueprint for how to revive a performance icon for lifestyle, but doing it correctly. One, like keep the silhouette true, but upgrade the underfoot experience with real modern cushioning. And then you meet the culture where it is. Comfort, versatility, and honestly, look, authenticity. Brooks isn't asking you to change your taste overnight. They couldn't ask you to change your taste overnight. They're asking you to look at a runner silhouette and say, yeah, this belongs here. Brooks is taking its time. It's doing things right and providing the sneaker world with a product that matters today. These 3 colorways of the Adrenaline GTS 10 are available now, with more colorways coming in May and additional colorways coming throughout 2026, all with updated and modern tech. Now, I want to know from you, is Brooks officially in the conversation for you now? Or is it still, oh, that's a running store only kind of shoe in your mind? And if you've ever owned an Adrenaline, especially around the late 2000s era, drop your memories in the comments below. If you want more breakdowns like this with product, tech, culture, the subtext, the underlying true story of all these sneakers that we love, let me know down below. Make sure you subscribe, and big shout out to the folks over at Brooks for sponsoring this video and letting me do this 100% my way. These are my thoughts. And what I wanted to do was to tell the story of a silhouette that has history, that has heritage, that has performance, but making it appropriate for the world that we live in today. Not enough brands do that. All right, let me know what you guys think down below. All right, peace.